Hey, welcome to SeniorSafetyAdvice.com. Today we're going to talk about passwords because there's hardly a human being on the planet, it seems, that doesn't have to deal with managing passwords. And with more and more programs coming online and more of us using our cell phones and computers and all kinds of things just to live our lives, then we're going to need some clear, easy method to save all these passwords and try to remember them. So I'm going to go over 5 different tools or methods that you can use to help you remember passwords. And then I'm going to go over just a couple of some simple password creation methods that you can use so that you're not creating a password that's very hackable. All right. So before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button so you can get, and click the bell so you can get reminded of when we do put out a new video. But we do put out a new video every single Friday. All right, so there are 5 methods that we outlined in an article, which I'll have a link to below, along with links to the gadgetry. But there are 5 methods that you can use to save passwords so that you can remember them, or at least you don't have to remember them, you can look them up. Okay, method number 1 is the pen and paper. Good old-fashioned pen and paper. My mom-in-law uses this. She's 99 years old and still on the computer. Can you believe that? Anyway, I use it also for certain passwords, and the best way to do that is to have like a little book, a little address book if you want, or a Rolodex, or a spreadsheet of some kind, whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily written with pen and paper. It could be on the computer, on a spreadsheet, but something physical, something that you can print out physically. So a pen and paper, as long as you keep it in one place, in one area, one book, one Rolodex, one whatever. And when you go away on vacation, you definitely want to make sure to secure that. Put it in your safe deposit box, or a safe if you have that in your home, anywhere that it can't be found and accessed, because if that got found, then all your passwords would be compromised, all your programs. Number 2 is a password manager program. This is usually a third-party program that you use, like an app on your phone, or you get on your desktop and go onto it, online. You do normally pay a monthly fee, but it's usually very nominal. And it's a great way to store all your passwords in one spot. There's a lot of them that are available. The ones that we've looked into are easenet.com, keepersecurity.com, LastPass. I've been using LastPass for a very long time. NPass, 1Password, Dashline, LogMeOnce. I use that as well. Actually, I use several of them. So check into any of them. I'll have links to them below. But any of these are wonderful ways to store your passwords online in a secure place, as secure as being online can be. Okay, third way is your browser. Whether you use Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer, you can save your passwords on there so that when you go back to that website, that URL, it will automatically fill it in. Now, that's a great convenience, but it's not necessarily the safest tool to use as far as storing passwords. So be careful about that. If you do use it, I would only store passwords that, for programs that aren't, like, they're not your bank account or financial institution or, utilities or anything like that, insurance company and anything. I wouldn't store those passwords on your browser. But anything else, a game or anything like that, you can do it, as long as it's a unique password that isn't on anything else, which it should be anyway. All right, number 4 is a secret email account. So the way this works is you create a separate email account, not tied at all to your regular email account. You and one other person is the only 2 people who know about this email account and or how to access this email account. And then I would use that email account for your most important programs, like your financial institutions, insurance company, anything like that. And the way you would use it for your passwords is you could put all your passwords on, keep them on a spreadsheet, and then email that spreadsheet to that particular email account. And then that way it's stored in there, it's saved in there. And just in case anything happens to your computer and that spreadsheet goes kaput, you need that there. Of course, you can also print out the spreadsheet every now and then and put it in a safe deposit box. But this is an easy way to access it via a secret email account. All right. Number 5, gadgets. There are some wonderful little gadgets that you can use. I mean, there's one that's called Password Safe, and it kind of looks like an old-fashioned calculator. It's pretty small, and you can store all your passwords in there. I think it holds up to 400 different passwords. And then you can just keep that in your pocketbook or, you know, your pocket. I don't think it's small enough for a wallet. But the next one is called Login Locker, and it's tiny like a credit card, and when you open it up, it's an accordion of sheets, sort of like a Rolodex, but you can write down your passwords in there, and that you can definitely put in your wallet. It's a great way to store passwords that you may need, you know, on the go, especially if you're traveling. And then another one is called the Login Locker. And the next one is a USB flash drive. You get an encrypted flash drive that you can just stick into your computer, and that's where all your passwords are stored. And then when you're not using your computer or you don't need it anymore, you just unplug that flash drive. That way it can't be accessed even if anybody were to break into your computer. It's not plugged in, so there's no information there. So those are 3 gadgets that you can use, and again, we'll have links to those below. But they're easy ways, in addition to just a simple little tiny address book that you can keep in your pocket or your purse that you write anything down. But those usually aren't locked or closed or measured in any way. The Password Safe program that looks like a little calculator, you need a password to get into that. So that would be the safest of all 3 options, because you're not going to usually be walking around with a flash drive. Anyway, all right. So I want to give you some tips on password creation. 1, you want to make the password as long as possible. You don't want it to be, apples 1, 2, 3, something short and easy. You don't want it associated at all with your name, your wife's name, any of your relatives' names. That includes your children, your dogs, your cats, your house address, the town you live in, where you were born, none of that. You want information on that password that hardly anybody else knows. In fact, a great little tip is to use a sentence as a password. Something that hardly anyone knows, or they wouldn't guess that you're using that sentence. Something like, I met my wife on a Wednesday at Joe's ice cream shop. I mean, who in the world is going to guess that that could possibly be your password? And if you want to mix it in with, I met my wife on Wednesday 23, the 23rd of the month, 23 at Joe's ice cream shop. Or whatever, something like that. It's long, it's extremely difficult to hack something like that, and because it's a sentence, it's something that you hopefully will remember. Obviously use a sentence that you would remember, but that's a great little trick on how to use or how to create a password. Never ever create passwords that are using words, numbers, or anything that is similar to your life, because all that information can be found online. You think it can't, but it can. And the other thing I would recommend is to try not to use the same password for multiple things. I mean, if you're online, gaming, and you do 5 different games, I think it's all right to use the same password for all those 5 games. There's nothing sensitive there. There's no information there unless you have your credit card information there. But if you're going to deal with banks and insurance companies and your utilities and even Amazon, anywhere where you put your credit card or personal information or have information that you don't want others to see, I would use a completely different password on each of those accounts. And also, I would change them at the very least once a year. Twice or 3 times a year would be better, but at the very least, make a rule, put it on the calendar, change the batteries on your smoke alarm, change the passwords on your accounts. All right, I hope this information was useful. A lot of it is just common sense, but not everyone is familiar with the gadgetry that's available nowadays. So I hope that those little gadgets do come in handy for you. All right, again, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the like button. We do appreciate each and every single subscriber. And give us your comments. Tell us how you are saving passwords. How do you remember them? And how do you create them for yourself? Where do you store them? Well, not where do you store them, but what do you do to make sure that your passwords are safe and as free from others as possible? And that's it. All right. Have a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.